Not quite. Move it over this way a little bit. A little more. Really? Yeah, right there. Woo. Woo. Oh, the powder. It's plum season, so you know what that means is you're going to be seeing a lot of recipes in the near future with plums in them. Today, we will be making muffins with two different types of Bob's Red Mill flour. One is the 1-to-1 baking flour, and the other is the all-purpose baking flour. As always, I found this plum muffin recipe online, which calls for 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, a half cup of sugar, 2 eggs, a half cup of light olive oil, 1 cup of yogurt, and about 320 grams of plums, which is about 8 small plums or 6 medium plums. Link to the original recipe is down below, as well as any recommendations that I make. If you haven't prepped your plums yet, go ahead and wash them. And if you want to follow the original recipe, go ahead and chop the plums into pieces. However, the plums I'm using have really bitter skins, so I decided to remove the skin and remove the pit, and basically ended up with this pulp mixture. Looking back, it also might have been a good idea to strain this mixture and used only the pulp so that it wouldn't end up super watery. Next, weigh out your 320 grams of plum and preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. For this first batch of muffins, we will be using the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour. Now in a large bowl, we're going to add those first 4 dry ingredients, sifting the flour, baking powder, and baking soda so that you don't get any chunks, and stirring in the sugar, mixing it all together. In a second bowl, go ahead and mix the wet ingredients, which are the eggs, the olive oil, and the yogurt, and whisk them all together. We're not adding our plums yet at this point because we want to get a nice smooth mixture first. Now pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients and slowly stir it all together. The original recipe says do not over stir or it will make the muffins too dense. However, I did a little research on gluten-free baking and it's actually recommended that you stir more when using gluten-free flour. Now that you have your dough, go ahead and stir in your plums. You might have to mix a little bit more if you have a pulp like me, but if you ended up chopping them, go ahead and just stir them in a little bit. For this first batch of muffins, I used this red plum kind of flannel colored muffin cup to differentiate between the 2 different batches. Then I filled them up and sprinkled a little raw sugar on the top of them. Now it's time to put them in the oven. The recipe said to bake them for about 15 to 18 minutes or until golden brown, and I've found that with gluten-free baking, you have to bake it for a lot longer. So I let these bake for about 30-35 minutes and used a toothpick inserted in the center to decide whether they were done or not. And here's our first batch of muffins using the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour. After letting it cool a bit, I opened one up to see how it came out, and the consistency turned out a little gummy, which happens often when I use this 1-to-1 baking flour because the primary ingredient is rice flour, which means that the consistency tends to be gummy like rice. Overall, though, my sister said that she liked this version better than the next version. And because this recipe has very little sweetness and really relies on the plum for all of its flavoring, you focus on the texture of the muffin more. Now on to the next batch, which uses the red bag of Bob's Red Mill all-purpose baking flour. So after my first batch turned out a little gummy, I did a little bit more research, and when using gluten-free flour, it's actually recommended that you do a weight 1-to-1 replacement instead of a volume 1-to-1 replacement. So along with using a different flour for this second batch, I also used a different ratio. As you just saw, I sifted my dry ingredients all together in a bowl, and now I am whisking together my wet ingredients and mixing them together. Because I essentially used less flour for this second batch, the dough ended up being a lot more watery than the first batch. And I also used a little bit more plum so that I could get a little bit more of that plum flavoring in these muffins. Then I just put the second batch in the oven. During my research, I came across something that said you should bake your gluten-free recipes at a lower temperature and for longer. And when I checked on these muffins halfway through, the toothpick came out unclean. So I turned off the oven and let them sit in there for a couple more minutes after. And here's our second batch of muffins using the red bag of Bob's Red Mill all-purpose baking flour. As you can see, this batch came out a little bit more cooked than the first batch, which makes sense because I left it in longer to try and dry it out because it was more watery, because I used less flour, and more pulp. Clearly I left it in for too long because the outside's really cooked. I probably should have lowered the temperature with the second batch, but I didn't want to change too many things between the first batch and the second batch. So this muffin came out significantly less gummy than the first one, but it has more of an earthy flavor because of the main ingredient in this flour being garbanzo beans. In terms of the muffin recipe itself, it definitely holds up to its description, which is light, fluffy, barely sweet, and no butter. And because of that, you really only have the plum flavor to rely on, so the next time I make muffins, I probably will try a different muffin recipe. And now, lastly, about the flours. My recommendation is that when you use the 1-to-1 blue bag baking flour, you use it in a recipe that you don't mind being gummy and that you use the 1-to-1 weight ratio instead of the volume ratio. And when using the red bag of Bob's Red Mill all-purpose flour, you use it in recipes that texture really matters and that would benefit from an earthy flavor. Also, I recommend using the 1-to-1 volume ratio instead of the weight ratio for this flour. If you learned something in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment down below if you have any gluten-free baking tips, and please subscribe because I make new videos every Friday. Thank you for watching!